Donald Trump Jr. sent a cease and desist letter to Jimmy Kimmel. Not for defamation, not for slander, but for something far more damaging, telling the truth. Yesterday, it came out that Donald Trump Jr., also known as D80J, was in regular contact with Wikileaks during his father's campaign. That might explain why Donald Trump said he loved Wikileaks more times during the campaign than he said he loved Melania. Don Jr. received multiple direct messages from Wikileaks on Twitter and even responded to 3 of them. The most unbelievable part? His very first reply started with the words, "off the record." Now think about that for a second. This is Wikileaks. The word leaks is literally in the name. There is no such thing as off the record with them. Naturally, Don Jr. later tried to downplay this relationship on Twitter, but the messages clearly showed there was some level of communication. At one point, it almost feels like he thought he was talking to someone else entirely. Saying off the record to Wikileaks isn't just a mistake. It comes across as a mix of incompetence and something more suspicious. When Jimmy Kimmel brought this up on his show, he didn't just report it. He turned it into sharp, unforgettable satire. He highlighted the absurdity, showed the actual messages, and made sure people didn't forget. Instead of defending himself, Don Jr. responded the Trump way. He got his lawyers involved. What followed became a story of how a comedian ended up becoming a major target for the Trump family. Not by making things up, but by remembering what actually happened. Kimmel even dramatized the situation with comedy sketches, turning the WikiLeaks interaction into a ridiculous scenario about passwords like 1234 and awkward online exchanges. The humor worked because it wasn't random. It was rooted in real events. At one point, the joke about 4 red heart emojis and an eggplant made the whole situation sound less like political coordination and more like something completely inappropriate and unserious. That's what made it hit so hard. But the WikiLeaks story was just the beginning. Years later, Don Jr. found himself testifying in a massive $250 million fraud case involving the Trump Organization. While he was preparing for court in New York, his fiancée, Kimberly, was reportedly at a party dressed as Snow White. The contrast was almost surreal. Serious legal trouble on one side and a costume party on the other. Kimmel continued covering all of this, pointing out how Don Jr. seemed to lack both intelligence and charisma. Not as a random insult, but as an observation based on his public behavior. He even joked about Don Jr. being sworn in on an upside-down Bible, calling his testimony inverted truth. And when Kimmel predicted that Trump might one day claim he barely knows his own sons, it didn't feel like just a joke. It felt like a pattern being recognized. During all this, Donald Trump himself wasn't even present in court to support his sons. Instead, he was hosting a Halloween party and posting online, calling himself the victim. His statement, "Leave my children alone," was met with Kimmel's sharp response that Trump had essentially been doing that their whole lives. The humor landed because it echoed a deeper criticism that Trump uses his children when convenient and distances himself when things go wrong. Kimmel also revisited past controversies, including Trump University shutting down over fraud allegations and the Trump Foundation being dissolved due to misuse of funds. Even the burial of Trump's mother on a golf course was brought up, suggesting it was done for tax benefits. These weren't just jokes. They were references to real, documented events, which made the satire even more cutting. Meanwhile, Trump was juggling so many legal battles that even his lawyers reportedly struggled to keep up with all the court dates. At the same time, he continued claiming that all of this was part of a political conspiracy against him. In one moment, he even spoke as if he was naming the United States, proudly calling it a great name, which Kimmel mocked as if Trump believed he had invented the country. Then came another bizarre claim. Trump suggesting that dangerous individuals, even from fictional references like Hannibal Lecter, were somehow part of immigration issues. Kimmel responded with disbelief, asking whether Trump had simply fallen asleep watching a movie. It highlighted how disconnected some of these statements sounded from reality. Eventually, all of this pushed Don Jr. to take legal action against Kimmel. His lawyer sent a cease and desist letter, claiming defamation and damage to his reputation. But Kimmel's response was simple. He read the letter on air and laughed. His point was clear. You can't defame someone by showing their own words. You can't damage a reputation that's already been shaped by public evidence. In the end, this entire situation revealed something bigger. Don Jr. wasn't just defending himself. He was defending the Trump brand. And critics like Kimmel weren't attacking randomly. They were pointing out patterns, connecting events, and reminding people of things that had already happened. That's why this story stands out. It's not about lies versus truth. It's about memory. According to this narrative, the Trump family doesn't just fight criticism. They fight reminders. And in this case, the conflict wasn't over something that was invented, but over something that was remembered.